Hello, welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channels 365 and Star Times, channels 276. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with Mossad Bulus, a senior advisor to United States President Donald Trump on Arab and African affairs in Rome. Talks focused on strengthening bilateral relationships, boosting trade and energy cooperation, and attracting United States investment. Nigerian Bulus praised Tinubu's economic reforms, while the president reaffirmed his commitment to partnerships that drive sustainable growth and regional stability. Nigerian Defense Minister Muhammad Badaru has inspected the ongoing production of Air Force aircraft and helicopters at Leonardo's defense facilities in northern Italy. Badaru reviewed progress on 10 AW109 Tracker helicopters, with 3 ready for delivery, 3 nearing completion, and 4 expected by early 2026, as well as 6 M346 fighter jets at advanced stages. He commended Leonardo's professionalism and said the accusations underscore President Tinubu's resolve to modernize the armed forces and strengthen defense partnerships. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his commitment to addressing the challenges confronting Nigerians and ensuring sustainable development across the country. The president made this known during the flag-off ceremony of a road construction project in the Federal Capital Territory. Kabir Hassan has details.
At the flag-off ceremony attended by top government officials, community leaders and residents, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, called on Nigerians to be good citizens by supporting government initiatives and promoting anything that will contribute to the national development. Take 2. He emphasized the president's commitment to solving the challenges facing Nigeria and ensuring that the renewed hope agenda delivers meaningful results to the people.
He's going to solve the entire problems of Nigeria, but he's going to put Nigeria on the path of positive development. So good citizens should be able to carry out their own responsibility by calling government attention. Not everything you go to social media. Everybody should support the government to make sure the right things are done and positive results are being achieved.
The minister emphasizes the government commitment to infrastructure development, stating that the newly launched project will ease traffic congestion, enhance connectivity, and promote economic activities within the area, while assuring residents of timely completion and quality delivery within the specified project duration. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Funds, Senator Mukhtari Dandusi Katsina South, has reaffirmed the Senate's commitment to mediating the ongoing dispute between the Academic Staff Union of University, ASU, and the federal government, stressing the urgent need for students to return to school while negotiations continue. Topsy Gimba has the details.
Senator Dandusi, who led the Senate delegation in the meeting with ASU representatives, said the engagement was aimed at finding a balanced resolution to the lingering impasse. He explained that the Senate has drawn up a mediation framework to address the crisis, which includes immediate negotiation between ASU and the Ministry of Education and NUC.
And on our resolution, the Senate is not happy that the agreement by the government to ASU has not been fulfilled.
Senator Dandusi added that the Senate is determined to ensure that government commitments are met and the academic activities resume without further delay. He said the priority is the future of the Nigerian students and the stability of the nation's tertiary institution.
We want the leadership of ASU to write all the issues they raise in our discussion so that we can pass the Ministry of Education together with them by Tuesday or Wednesday to ensure that our children are back to school.
Also speaking, Senator Karimi Sunday highlighted the progress made in ongoing negotiations. Senator Sunday stressed that the Senate would continue to push for improvements in staff welfare and educational funding.
They have agreed to increase the allowance to 35%, which they still felt they are not comfortable with, that it should go up a bit. And we spoke to them so that we can reach an agreement. Also, they talk about taxing.
In his remarks, Senator Adams Oshiomhole underscored the need for sincerity on all sides. He pointed out that issues affecting academic work, such as taxation on essential materials, could be resolved through good faith negotiations. Oshiomhole further warned that Nigeria must take deliberate steps to retain its brightest minds within the university system.
Before then, it would be nice if our children of the poor, I emphasize children of the poor, because the not so poor, their children are not here, so that they can be back to school.
Meanwhile, ASU President Professor Chris Piwana Guson acknowledged that Senate's mediation efforts, but maintained that the government's latest salary proposal remains outside the framework earlier agreed upon. Professor Piwana reiterated that any decision to suspend strike action rests with union members.
That document that was submitted in December 2024 is one that was unattended to until we embarked on this action.
Another meeting between the union and the government is scheduled for over the weekend, with hopes that amicable compromise will be paved the way for students to return to classroom. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
The leadership crisis within the Labour Party appears far from over, as the party's National Secretary Umar Farouk says. Its 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi may not contest the 2027 general elections. Farouk made the comment during an interview on a political program in Abuja. Ubong Usoro reports.
Appearing on Big Talk, the political program on Global Television, National Secretary of the Labour Party, Alhaji Umar Farouk, said Peter Obi has not indicated interest in returning to the party ahead of the 2027 elections and may not feature on the ballot.
President, I do not see him contesting, because the Labour Party that you have, participated in, and you have got this kind of number, it's a strong, throw to the presidency. You will throw it away.
Farouk, however, noted that the party remains open to receiving Obi if he chooses to return, but insisted that no individual is bigger than the Labour Party. Farouk maintained that his faction remains the only one recognized by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, dismissing other groups as dissidents, causing crisis for personal interest.
Of course, yes, the door is open. If he is coming, let him come. But I do not see him coming.
The Labour Party has been embroiled in a long-running leadership tussle between two factions led by Julius Abure and Nanadi Usman, each claiming legitimacy. Political observers say the prolonged crisis may weaken the Labour Party's electoral strength ahead of the 2027 polls if reconciliation efforts fail. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's aviation sector have expressed strong support for the proposed law establishing the Africa Aviation and Aerospace University in Abuja. The industry players are backing the proposed legislation to establish the African Aviation and Aerospace University in Abuja. They say the move is vital to tackling the growing manpower shortage threatening the future of the sector. And Niti Patrick has details.
At a public hearing organized by the House Committee on Aviation Technology, key players from government, academia, and the aviation industry described the proposed African Aviation and Aerospace University as a game changer for human capital development. Representing the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, the Permanent Secretary Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar said the institution aligns with government's vision of positioning Nigeria as a regional training hub for aviation and aerospace studies.
Africa must develop its own high-level aviation and aerospace capacity to drive safely, innovation, and competitiveness in the global industry.
Registrar of the University, Dr. Mustafa Abubakar, said has secured accreditations from NUC and JAM and already runs several undergraduate and postgraduate programs.
That the passage of the AAAU Establishment Bill will, one, provide a firm legal foundation for the university's continued growth and sustainability.
From Zaria, Rector of Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Captain Danjuma Ismail, said the new university will complement existing training institutions and expand research capacity in the industry. Declaring the hearing open, Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and Committee Chairman Tajuddin Abisodun both affirmed that the bill will strengthen Nigeria's aviation sector and ensure accountability and autonomy in the university governance.
I think this is a wonderful idea and it should have the support of stakeholders.
This bill is not merely about the creation for another academic institution. It is about laying the foundation for a future where Nigeria becomes a continental leader.
With the bill now before the House, stakeholders say its passage will set Nigeria on course to becoming Africa's aviation knowledge hub. Anie Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
The federal government says the recent drop in food prices across our country is a direct result of increased local production and sustained agricultural interventions under the Tinubu administration. Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, stated this in Abuja during a sensitization walk to mark the 2025 World Food Day. Here is Aniete Patrick's reports.
It was a day of awareness and celebration in Abuja as farmers, development partners, and government officials took part in the World Food Day sensitization work promoting sustainable food systems and healthy diets for Nigerians.
Produce what we eat and eat what we produce.
Addressing journalists after the walk, Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, said the drop in food prices is a reflection of improved local harvests and the success of government-led agricultural initiatives. He debunked claims that the government imported food to force prices down, clarifying that the limited imports window approved last year was only to bridge short-term gaps in production.
We are looking at food security for our citizens. That is the overall interest of government. And if food is available, accessible, but not affordable, whoever is involved in the non-affordability will tell you he's not food secure. And yet, we want an economy and a country where everybody is inclusively included in whatever we are doing.
The minister also credited the release of over 2 million bags of fertilizer and other farm inputs last year, following President Bola Tinubu's directive as key drivers of the improved output and reduced production costs. He added that newly procured Belarus tractors will soon be deployed nationwide through mechanization service centers to further support smallholder farmers and boost productivity.
Through the agricultural mechanization service centers that are going to come on board, they can have access to the service of these tractors. The cost of their production can come down, but most importantly, they will have experts who will lay their farm and prepare it in such a way that their productivity can be enhanced.
With local farmers driving production and new technologies taking root, the government says Nigeria is steadily moving towards a food-secure future. Anie Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
The federal government has joined the rest of the world in commemorating the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. Speaking on the significance of the day, the National Coordinator of Nigerian Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus Program, also called NGCARES, Dr. Abdul Karim Obaje, reaffirmed government's commitment to improving access of the poor and vulnerable to improved livelihoods. Dr. Obaje noted that the federal government introduced the initiative in order to drive transformative interventions that have improved access to basic services as well as restored hope in economically disadvantaged communities. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, Super Eagles back in Africa's top 5 rise to 41st in the world. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this week. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break in business. The Federation Account Allocation Committee has shed 2.103 trillion naira in September 2025 revenue among the federal, state and local governments. The total included 1.239 trillion naira from statutory revenue, 812 billion naira from VAT, and 51 billion naira from the electronic money transfer levy. Facts communique said the federal government received 711 billion naira, state 727 billion naira, and local government 530 billion naira, with 134 billion naira allocated to oil-producing states as division revenue. In a renewed push towards food security, the federal government has empowered young farmers, schools and cooperatives with agricultural input to boost local production and reduce hunger. The initiative was unveiled in Abuja as Nigerians joined the global community to commemorate the 2025 World Food Day. Global Television's Anita Patrick reports.
Marking this year's World Food Day with the theme Hand in Hand for Better Food and a Better Future, Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Abdullahi, says the government is integrating the First Lady's Renewed Hope initiative, noting that the initiative is strengthening the nation's food system by supporting the next generation of farmers.
When we have pockets of production centers, through every home a garden, through Young Farmers Club, and through community-driven projects such as Muje Kuje, definitely we will be contributing to the volume of food that is available in the market.
Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Meha, emphasized the importance of incorporating animal husbandry into school farming programs to help students understand the full food chain. He revealed plans to modernize schools and community farms through the Agricultural Research Council's Technology Adoption Program.
We want to see goats, sheep, and particularly dairy cows, so that you can do milking here and start selling your milk, selling your yogurt, and making cheese here.
Students and young farmers showcase innovative agricultural practices, including members of the Young Farmers Club of Government Secondary School, Karshi, whose slogan, "From the Classroom to the Community," has gained international recognition from the Food and Agriculture Organization. With initiatives like this, the federal government hopes to inspire a new generation of farmers and build a more resilient, food-secure Nigeria. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene, Ivory Coast has imposed a 2-month ban on political rallies ahead of the next week's presidential election, citing national security concerns. The Interior and Defense Minister announced the ban after protests erupted over the exclusion of opposition figures Lawrence Gbagbo and Tijani Thiam from the race. Authorities say over 700 people have been arrested in recent unrest, while Amnesty International has urged the government to stop repressing dissent. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has left Washington without securing Tomahawk cruise missiles after talks with United States President Donald Trump. Trump said the United States would not take steps that could escalate the war, calling instead for both sides to stop where they are. The meeting came a day after Trump's phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, as Zelensky warned that long-range missiles could cripple Moscow's war economy. Kenya's President William Ruto has paid a tribute to former opposition leader Raila Odinga at a state funeral for him in the country's capital, Nairobi. Odinga, 80, died from a suspected heart attack at a health clinic in southern India on Wednesday, triggering a huge outpouring of grief across much of his home country. And in sports, Nigerian Super Eagles have climbed 4 places to 41st in the latest FIFA Men's World Ranking, breaking into Africa's top 5. The team's recent victories over Lesotho and Benin Republic boosted their point tally, secured a spot in the 2026 World Cup playoff. On the continent, Morocco, Senegal, Egypt and Algeria led the top 4, with Nigeria rounding out Africa's best 5 team. Former Vice President and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to youth empowerment through sport. He made this known when officials of the Nigerian University Games Association paid him a courtesy visit ahead of the 27th edition of the Games. Samuel Odi reports for Global Television.
As Nigeria prepares for the 27th Nigerian University Games billed to host over 11,000 student-athletes from 220 universities, including the American University of Jos, the momentum is building towards what promises to be one of the most exciting university sporting events in recent years. The former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, commended the organizers for keeping the spirit of university sports alive. He emphasized that sporting activities remain vital in nurturing young talent, fostering discipline, and promoting national unity.
Sports is a major physical activity in our youth. And of course, we all know that sports can contribute in many ways, in the development of a nation. If you develop sports, you also develop the youth, and vice versa.
Leading a delegation to the former Vice President, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Tanko Isia, said preparation for the game were in top gear. He said facilities and logistics were being fine-tuned to meet international standards.
We designed our facility in a way that by the time we implement those facilities, Your Excellency, any sports, international sports that will be coming to Nigeria, they will want to come and do some of the sports in Jos.
The chief consultant for NUGA 2025, Obed Bella, expressed optimism that the Jos edition will not only showcase athletes' excellence, but also strengthen peace and unity across the region.
To be a lasting legacy that will promote education and sports. And why we've looked at Jos as being the center of our crisis, and we felt the narrative must be changed with the NUGA, and that is our focus.
With the countdown now on, the University of Jos is set to welcome thousands of athletes, coaches and officials to a celebration of talent, teamwork and enduring power of sport to inspire a new generation of Nigerian leaders. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
In a related development, as preparations intensify for the 27th Nigerian University Games NUGA 2025, Brunel Consulting has reaffirmed its commitment to advancing sports and infrastructure development in Nigerian universities. The managing director, Dr. Alex Onubu, made this known when officials from the University of Jos paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Samuel Odi reports for Global Television.
The visit was part of ongoing efforts to strengthen strategic partnership and ensure a world-class hosting of NUGA 2025, scheduled to hold from 6th to 16th November in Jos, Plateau State. During the meeting, the managing director of Brunel Consulting, Dr. Alex Onwebu, commended the University of Jos for its proactive approach and assured that Brunel Consulting would provide technical expertise to deliver facilities that meet international standards.
Kudos to you if you can get all these things, at least sensitize the government and get ASU and NGC and all the stakeholders to be able to formulate something that makes it possible for parents to allow their wards to pursue so that will be something that will bring us back to glory days in athletics.
In response, the Vice Chancellor of University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishia, appreciated Brunel Consulting for its consistent partnership. He emphasized that the university is determined to host one of the most memorable and inclusive university games in the nation's history, with over 11,000 athletes and officials expected from across the country.
I can assure you with your support, it will go a very, very long way in ensuring that we achieve some of those things that more or less we wouldn't have achieved. So let me, thank you most sincerely and thank the entire management of Brunel, for your magnanimous support and the trust and believing in Unijos and of course NUGA.
Also speaking, the Chief Consulting Officer of Nigerian University Games, Obed Bella, noted that Jos was chosen to host the event to showcase the city's hospitality and transform the image through sports.
Changing the narrative on the Jos Plateau, then to organize a successful university game, which that is our dream and our aspiration. Then use NUGA University as a peg to consolidate and collaborate with National Sports of University of Korea.
The visit to Brunel Consulting marks another milestone in University of Jos's readiness to drive ahead of NUGA 2025 as stakeholders continue to mobilize support to deliver a festive of excellent sportsmanship and national pride. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
That's it on Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channels 365 and Star Times, channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using that Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.